the holiday time is really about connecting and reconnecting. And maybe it's because I'm in my senior years, but the truth is you don't have to be in your senior years to value good health. Ed just had a golf buddy's wife drop dead. No warning, 42 years old, a heart attack. And we all know cardiovascular disease is the number one killer. So I think when we have the attitude that we ourselves are committed to living longer with quality. I mean, that is the key, not just living longer and being tied to a jerry chair and being diapered and tube fed. So when you have the mindset that you are offering a gift, I mean, what is it worth if you could live longer with quality? It's priceless. So the holiday season is just such an appropriate time to have the right mindset to build strong through the holidays. And it doesn't matter what you celebrate. It's still a season where we truly wish people an abundant, joyous, prosperous new year. So how do we do this? In our profession in network marketing, it is typically now, for many people, the slowest time of our business year between, actually, as soon as Thanksgiving starts until the new year. And it's interesting. Last year, I made a commitment that I was going to work so hard in November and December, and I wasn't going to tolerate, well, it's the holiday, call me after the first of the year. For those that said that, I accepted it and said, that's okay, but can we make an appointment now for the first week in January so we can talk about what you want your next year to look like? And I set up appointments. And I had never done this before. And January last year, I personally sponsored over 10 people, some customers, some distributors. I mean, I've been in this industry for 21 years. I've never done that before. So now it's your turn to fully understand that you are not going into a mental Christmas breakdown during this season. And you're going to use the natural opportunities of interacting with people during this holiday season, because great success is available to you if you have the right mindset. And we faculty members are committed to help you with some ideas that you can implement. So you need to decide, who are you? It's all about what you believe and what you perceive. But about 90% of people in home-based businesses, like us, independent business owners, end up struggling through this time of year. And 10%, however, do lots of planning and make decisions, not only to keep things growing, but keep things to the point where they're going to have the most explosive first quarter of next year. So, it's all dependent on your efforts and what you're going to do to turn up your efforts and use technology. I mean, for some people on the call, you may not even know, basically anything more than sending an email or sending a text message. But with the online business tools that we've provided from agiftfromus.com/your name, this is the most abundant way to give the good gift of good health without vomiting on people, and just use the opinion approach. And we'll talk a little bit about the language that you're going to use and some of the ideas that might be working. But remember, they're very often thinking of past years, past holidays, maybe loved ones that are no longer with them. They're thinking about what they're going to cook and what they're going to eat, and thinking about parents that are no longer here. So it's our responsibility to get them to talk about where they are. Because remember, it's all about effective communication. Our responsibility is to serve others. We're looking for people who are looking to change things. What does our esteemed Ray Heron always say? We are looking for people who are looking for shortcuts to better health and shortcuts to better finances and a better upcoming new year. I mean, I have a friend that has over $1 million in the bank. $1 million in the bank. Now, I'm going to ask you, you'd think this person was pretty comfortable, right? But what you have to realize is that $1 million in the bank, with the way the economy is today, the interest on that money is less than $300 a month. You could do that as a 1K or a 5K. So our responsibility is to talk to people about where they are, where they've been, and where they want to be by asking the right questions. Now, everybody's out shopping. Oh, my goodness, absolutely. So even if you are not personally spending money at the malls, guess what? You're probably standing beside somebody who is. So it's so easy to start a conversation just by making eye contact and putting on a huge, warm, sincere smile. It's a great way for us to meet people while we're out and about. Bookstores, toy stores. I mean, the list is endless. There's lots of holiday fairs, little church things and trade shows and craft shows, and and most of them are free to go to, but and you go armed with your tools. What are your tools? You never, ever, ever leave the house without your gift samples. And you have a variety of packages. So when I make up my packages, I have Just Limitless. Then but I put XANGO juice singles in every single one, because as far as I'm concerned, that's the most important botanical anybody can take. So I'll do 3 Limitless with a XANGO single. Then I'll have a Pro Pack with a XANGO single. Then I'll have a pack for somebody who's really worthy with some of everything in it. But I warn people up front, and I got this from my dearest friend, Richard O'Brien, who always has words of wisdom coming out of his mouth. And he says, now, just understand, this particular sleeve, purple, that's ageless, has a very unique ingredient called shilajit or shilajit, and most people have never heard of it. Those that do immediately say, oh, my God, that is the most amazing botanical, but boy, is it nasty. And I say, well, you know what? Some people love the taste, some hate the taste, and some tolerate the taste. For me, I tolerate the taste. But Eddie mixes it for me with 2 ounces of XANGO juice. He puts in a reload, and he puts in 2 Ignite. More is better. He's a pharmacist. More is better. And now I have no problem resisting taking my ageless at night. But before you give that sample, make sure you get their information, not just their phone number, not just their email address, but a commitment when they're going to find the time to go to your website, because you really want their opinion. You are not trying to sell them anything. You're going to want to know what they thought of Dr. Templeman explaining the products, and set a time, a definitive time, not, well, can I call you next week? No. You say, I know this is a pretty hectic week for me. Would next Tuesday or Wednesday work better for you for us to connect? And then set up the firm time, because you're really sincerely wanting to know what they thought. And while you're shopping, I mean, think about how many of the salespeople that you're talking to are there just to make some extra money for the holidays. And you might say to them, how has business been? You know, is it as crazy? Did you do this last year? Do you find it busier than last year or less than last year? Do you sometimes get just so tired standing on your feet? And is this something that you really want to do or have to do? And, you know, you are so good with your customer service skills. I've got something I'd love to share with you, but now's not the appropriate time. Can we share some information and let's connect when you've got a day off? Would that be okay? And make sure you've got your business cards. And Kali, you'll be talking about, maybe not on this call, but maybe on the next call, about some just incredible business cards that we're offering through XANGO University that you're going to be able to actually customize yourself. I've never seen anything like this, but really, really excited about what's coming with our business card. So always have your radar on, but always be prepared. And I had this happen to me 2 days ago. We were at an auto body shop because my BMW somehow just suddenly overheated, and Eddie had to pull into a place, and I asked the magical question. In fact, Richard was on the phone talking to me while I was talking to the guy through the window, and he was really very nice. You know, he was tolerant of me being upset because Jiffy Lube just did an oil change that was supposed to be, I don't know, $30. It ended up $150 with all the other stuff they had to do. And the very next day, the car was overheating, and of course I blamed him, and he laughed about that. But anyway, I said, in the end, I said, let me ask you this, Steve. Do you or anyone you know drink energy drinks? And he goes, oh my God, I live on them. So one thing led to another, and he said, well, do you have a sample? And my answer typically is, does a bear have hair? Now, what was interesting, I changed pocketbooks. I was wearing an outfit, and I wanted to change to my red bag, and I was running late, and I had no samples in my bag. I was horrified. I couldn't believe it. I said, I can't believe it. I don't have it. I said, Steve, I promise you, Ed will run by tomorrow and drop off samples. But you first have to go to the website. And he called me that night and said, I've been to the website. My wife has severe arthritis. She's only 52. How do we get some of these products? So the point is, never, ever, ever be unprepared, because according to the National Product Sampling Council, 92% of people surveyed said they were more likely to purchase a product they had sampled. And very often I'll use this little wording, and I've been tweaking it, and I'd say, let me ask you this, Steve. You know, if you're like me, I hesitate, and I use inflection in my voice. I say, you know, I put a huge priority on staying healthy and living longer with quality. Do you also agree with me? I mean, that opens the door to how in the world are they going to say, I'm not interested in looking, or I'm not open to looking at your stuff when you're talking about living longer with quality. Now, because your average distributor is not building hard through December, you're on this call. I'm going to make the assumption you are not average. If you were average, you'd be bowling or you'd be sleeping in, but you're not average. You're on the call. So what you have to realize, it takes time to build up your prospecting pipeline or your prospecting funnel. So the average distributor, which you are not, isn't going to do anything, and they're going to start in January. So they're already way behind, because it's going to be February or March until they start filling their pipeline. So they've lost the whole New Year explosion with New Year's resolutions. So what are the two biggest New Year's resolutions? Make more money and lose weight. You think we have the ability to do that? So don't ever stop talking to people and asking the right questions, and attend every holiday party, everything that you possibly can that's starting probably the first week in December. It's a wonderful way to have conversations with people. Make sure you have your business cards available. And, of course, you're going to have your sample packs in your bag. But you're not going to be blatant about it. If they're expressing an interest during the conversation about better health, or I'm so tired, I have no energy, or they're talking about their finances, you say, you know, I'm involved with some just incredible products that I'd love to share with you. You know what? Let me check my car. Let me check my bag. I'm not sure I have any samples with me, but oh my goodness! Oh, you are so lucky. I do. I have. Oh, I'm so excited. I can give this to you right now. You know, sort of become an actor or an actress in playing like you're shocked that you have one with you. So this is absolutely the best time of year to sample your products. So what else do I want to cover? It's definitely not attacking the family, because, I mean, you heard Tom say it. You know, very often, too often, when people go to an event with people they know, they just start talking about their business and they vomit all over people. And it's hard to hold back because you're excited, but you have to hold back. You have to resist the temptation of opening up and talking about anything. And if people say to you, because you've been on the product for at least maybe 3 months, 6 months, a year, and people, because I'm getting this all the time, we went to a fashion show luncheon by Neiman Marcus at the club a couple of weeks ago, and somebody came up to me, and 2 of my friends were with me, and they overheard it, and this woman comes up and shouts, "Sandi, oh my God, you're looking incredible." I mean, now she hadn't seen me probably in about 8 months or more, and I didn't know what to say, and I shouted back, "Thank you for the compliment. If you want to know my secret, call me." And that's all I said, and I got in the car and left. So you don't want to attack people. You don't want to bring your business up. You want to start asking them questions about how this year has been, and sincerely, you want to know, what would they change if it could be changed? That's your question. How would you like to see 2015 different? So you're stoking the fire. You're asking questions. And if you could describe this year, 2014, in 1 or 2 words, what would it be? Was it fabulous? Was it horrific? Was it a nightmare? You need to find out those key questions, and you must leverage technology. You know, I guess it's now maybe 18 years ago when I heard an audio tape, and the guy said, if you do not use technology, those who do will leave you in the dust. And I've been taking a lot of free webinars lately on social media and how to run ads online. And let me tell you, I thought I was on top of things, and I got a lot to learn. So I'm committed to getting good at this so I can shortcut your success. And really that's what the university is all about. But if anybody can point and click, you can copy and paste, and you can forward videos. You can forward content. So we want to teach you how to use technology correctly. The word is correctly. And I don't know when Kali is going to talk about it, but I'm going to pinch her soon because we got something very, very exciting coming January 1 that will blow you away with technology, but I'm not supposed to be talking about it yet, but I can't help it because it's so exciting. So the bottom floor is your wording, your language. I do some personal coaching with a couple of the leaders, and it was interesting on our call on Thursday, and I'm not going to mention their name, but they're just incredible, incredible leaders. And she was having difficulty holding people to the three-way appointment. And that's very, very common with a lot of conversations, that we just tweaked a couple words, and it helped. I mean, it was like amazing. You'd think, how can just tweaking a couple words make a difference? So here's wording that I use. Are you open to exploring possibilities? I mean, I use that constantly. The other one is, would it be okay if I sent you some information because I would love your opinion? Would it be okay if you check this out? When you use those words, would it be okay if? I've never had anybody say no. Would you be open to exploring a ground floor business that had no risk? Absolutely none. And if you're coachable and mentored by millionaires with a proven system already in place, and if you treat it like a real business, your success could be almost guaranteed. I've never heard anybody say, no, I'm not open to at least looking at the information. So, become a student, because your skills are very different as a no-K. They're different as a 1K. Your skills are improved as a 5K. Your skills are improved as a 20K. So if you are not growing both personally and professionally, it's directly proportionate to your skills. So if you say, oh my, I can't seem to get anybody on a three-way and I have nobody to talk to, well, do you have a different product line, a different comp plan than those who are sponsoring 3 in a month or more and taking advantage of the new holiday promotions, the holiday to hundreds? So you got to say to yourself, because this is what I said to myself over almost 2 decades ago, what are successful people doing and saying that I need to learn how to do and say? So if you're not willing to work on yourself, if you're not willing to take the trainings, if you're not willing to be a part of the book club, if you're not willing to be on my calls once a month on unlocking your millionaire mindset, then why are you wondering why you're not successful? I remember when I started my medical and surgical supply business, I didn't know the difference between a breast prosthesis and a hospital bed. I had to learn. I had to take classes. I had to become certified. It took me several years to get where I needed to be, but it was a constant learning curve. So here we are, literally days, hours before Thanksgiving. And XANGO and Zalo and A Gift From Us is in momentum. We're busy preparing for the holidays with all the hustle and bustle of the season. But now is the time to have an action plan in writing, absolutely in writing, with a commitment of how many new conversations you are going to have every single day. And we're all in overload. We all are in overload. We're all time-starved. So how are you going to get this done? Because you've got to look at your goals and you've got to adjust them and incorporate what we do into every part of your life. Have your sample bags with you and don't leave the house naked. In other words, you cannot come home at night and put your head on the pillow without having at least maybe 3 or 4 conversations. And out of those conversations, you may only decide to give out 1 or 2 gorgeous, elegant packages. And get into conversations, what do you do full time? How long have you done it? All the questions that you're going to be, learning if you have not already learned how to do them. But what is really huge that you must understand, in your back office at XANGO University, I want a commitment that in the next 2 days you will look at every single Sandi Botkin who is a certified public accountant. He's a tax attorney who trains other tax attorneys, and he's a former auditor of the IRS. I want you to look at every one of those videos. I want you to get into the habit of forwarding those videos, not just to your potential partners, but even to potential customers who will then understand that working a part-time business only maybe 5 to 7 hours a week with intention to profit, they put back in their pocket thousands of dollars a year in legitimate, legal tax deductions. So promise me you will do that. If you haven't set up your tax file, absolutely get an accordion folder. They're probably $2 at Walmart, and start putting in your receipts, because if you have not yet started a home-based business, you're talking to potential partners, as long as they join you before the end of this year, they can write off the entire year, a portion of their mortgage, a portion of their rent, a portion of their vehicle use. And they can even set aside income tax-free for their kids, because they've started a home-based business before the year ends. So when you're talking to people, you can say, how would you like to save anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 this year on your taxes that you'll have to pay next year? So make sure you bought at least one bold pack, maybe two, because you have 200 samples, and do the math. If you commit to giving out 3 packages a day, and think about stocking stuffers. You're done your shopping. You do not have to go to the mall to shop. You're going to shop from your back office in XANGO.com, and you're going to make up maybe 100 packages. And this one's for Mary because she's 50 years old, and this one is for Billy Bob because he's 20 years old. You're going to have packages for everyone. And even maybe some people are worthy of a bottle of XANGO juice. Oh, my. Absolutely. I remember in the early days, we didn't have these little tiny samples that were less than $2 a piece. We were giving away $40 bottle of juice. So we're also going to be we're in the process of a beautiful gift card that you can include in your packaging. So that's really my message today. Nothing is more important than keeping our body in the best of health. It's our responsibility, and it's our responsibility to be ageless advocates and empower that information to others as well, so we can remain strong and mentally clear as we age. So what do we provide? We are not just independent business owners and represent XANGO. We are so much more than that. We provide good health, prosperity, success, and most importantly, living a life as it should be.